The way I'm going to draw the feature lines is I'm going to use a software under grading, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create feature lines from objects. So the objects I'm going to use is going to be the gutter. I'm going to zoom down in here, and I'm going to select this line, arc, this line, this arc, this line. All of these gutters I'm going to convert to feature lines. Go ahead and take the time to select all these gutters along the right. We'll work with all of these a little later in the next few steps. So you can kind of see all these gutters, and only the face of the curve is what I'm going to be using for converting my feature lines. Enter. Now, very important step. As far as the feature lines I'm going to do is I'm going to create them using my current layer, but instead of drawing them, it's going to convert the lines that I selected, which are the gutter lines. But make sure you take off this option. If I leave that on, the gutter lines that I selected will be then erased and replaced with feature lines. That is not what I want to do. I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to have duplicates. I'm going to have a feature line and a separate curb line. And that's exactly what I want. So make sure you turn this off. Very important step. Hit OK. So now we have our feature line, and we have the curve line underneath there. You don't have to do this. I can just show you. I'm going to move this back away. You can kind of see that I still have the curve line and the feature line. Okay. This is where feature lines are going to get a little weird in my opinion. I'm going to click on the corner of the view cube to show you in 3D, and let's see if you understand what's happening. I did anticipate this happening, and this is where it's going to get interesting, because what's going to happen is that feature line that I just drew or converted, this first one here, is the arc. And the arc is going from the elevation that it finds. Feature lines think on their own. It attached this side over here to an elevation of 3802.08. And you can see that here in the coordinate readout. You're going to see that over here on the coordinate readout. So when I come over here, notice it says 3802.08. This one is at 0. The reason it did this one at 3802 and it did it on its own is because it found this feature line. It's coming up to that exact same geometric point, and it assigned itself to the feature line that was there already at that elevation at that point of 3802.0889. The rest of it has a 0 elevation. So if I grip on this one, you don't have to do this. You can just see what I'm doing. Notice that it says 0, and it says 0. And when I go to 3D, it is indeed at the 0 elevation. Why is that? Well, because we haven't determined the elevation yet. Now, the elevations that we do know is the beginning elevation of the existing ground and the elevation that we determined from the building coming across the 2% grade and the 6-inch curve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little technique in the software. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the feature line a little bit so that I end up with, I'm not going to call it a baseline, but it's going to be tracing that same line that I just mentioned, but we are missing a feature line. We are missing one feature line going from here to here. We're missing another feature line coming across from here to here, and another one from here to here, so that way I can get this main feature line all the way from this point to this point, and calculate its slope from this point to this point. So there is a little bit of modeling that I have to do. I'm going to have to do some feature line trimming and editing so that I can get that feature line that I'm missing, because the one that I'm missing, again, is this point from this point to here, another feature line from this point to here, and another feature line from this point to here. That way I'll end up with an overall feature line, and I'll determine the grade of that overall feature line, once again, from this point over to this point, using the software on the next step.